Yo, what is going on, everybody? My name is Drum and welcome to the channel. So today I wanted to do a little ban list talk. I'm not really going to give a prediction on what's going to get banned or what's going to get limited and all that kind of stuff. Really, I think it's up in the air. It's just, I don't know. There's so many different cards that can be hit, so many cards that can be limited, banned, yada, yada, yada. This format's really all over the place. And I mean, I'm pretty sure some of these things are obvious. So I, looked at other people's ban list predictions, stuff like that, and kind of just came, like I pretty much took the basis of what a lot of those people said, some of the cards, as you can see here on the screen. And also I asked people at locals, stuff like that, what cards come up a lot, what's, on their minds about what could be limited, banned, and stuff like that. So basically these are like the overwhelming cards that pretty much made it to the list. So I'm just going to go through every one of these and give my little opinion on them. Obviously, we're going to start with Branded Expulsion, and this is no secret to anyone. Everyone agrees that this card should be banned. Obviously, you can't hit the Gimmick Puppet. If you hit the Gimmick Puppet, then everyone just move on to the next one, which is like the DDD monster, and then you have Raw's Disciple, and the list goes on and on. So obviously, you have to kill the problematic card itself, which is Branded Expulsion. The next one is the Chariot cards. We got Unicorn, Fenrir, and Diabolosis. Out of all three of these, the smartest one to ban it would be Diabolosis. Now, at first I was thinking about this. I was like, this should have been pre-hit. This should have already been banned. So then this format wouldn't be just like all these zone locking things in just one turn, and we wouldn't have the 5 zone lock happening at all. So I kind of feel like this should have been already banned. So like typical TCG Konami, they always do it a little bit too late. So I think it's overdue. It's going to be banned. And I was doing like a deep thought on this card because I was like, if you ban this card, that could put a lot of people off from playing Chariot just to begin with, because now the zone lock is just like a thing in the past. Like, why would you even summon Shangri-La really if you just wanted to get an extra summon? But why risk it when your opponent can just sit there and be like, okay, cool, now I can just take your monster, make a Rise Heart, and basically you just lose the game. So I don't know, like if they do ban this card, it can single-handedly just almost kill the deck entirely and people won't want to play it anymore. So there could be an option where they keep Diabolosis in and then probably hit something else. I don't know, but I just don't really see how this card could stay, just because it's a free information. You look at your opponent's extra deck, that's huge, and then banish one of them face down. That is insane, and at the cost of what? Nothing really. So yeah, this needs to go. For the other two, Unicorn and Fenrir, a lot of people say that they want Unicorn at 1 and Fenrir at 2. And then some people flip it and they say they want Unicorn at 2 and Fenrir at 1. And the reason is because Fenrir is splashable. It can go into any deck. And there's other decks like Sprites that are using it as a 2-of in their deck. And there's other decks that are using it as a 2-of because it's, summon, search this other copy out, and you're good to go. So they would rather have it that way. So then in Chariot, they can still have at least 2 Fenrirs and, a Unicorn, so they have a good way of starting out their combos and stuff. And Fenrir is still being usable in other decks. Now, the other people will say they want Fenrir at 1 and Unicorn at 2. So then in this way, they can still have the high chance of opening up with the Unicorn, searching the one of Fenrir off of the Theosis, and then starting the combo like normal. And then that way Fenrir won't be used in any other deck really. So I can see arguments for both sides, and honestly, I don't really care which way it goes, because as long as Diabolosis is banned, I don't really care how these play out. There is some talk saying that maybe Theosis would be at 1, but I think Theosis would be a stupid hit, because it's really just these two that are the most problematic in the deck itself. Maybe Rise Heart as well. Rise Heart is just stupid. I hate the fact that it just banishes 3 off your opponent's deck. Like, why do they think that was a smart idea? That was so stupid. But anyways, me personally, if they didn't ban Diabolosis, I would like to see both of these limited. But if they do ban this and one of these at 2 and the other one at 1, I'll be fine with that. I mean, or they could just ban Diabolosis and limit both of these. That would be fantastic. I honestly just want Chariot to die and can we just move on to the next thing? It's just boring to play, and it's boring to play up against. I played it for I think I've only played it a total of maybe 5 times, and every time I was honestly just kind of bored. And even the times where I was, like winning with it, I went undefeated with it in one of their locals, but I just didn't even make a deck profile of it because I just don't really care that much about it. And I mean, I don't know. It's just toxic. The next is the Sprites. I have a weird feeling that they might hit Sprites pretty hard on this next list with the Chariot. A lot of people think they're only gonna hit 1 card. I'm kind of hesitant, man. I kind of think they might hit 2 cards at least, maybe. I don't know. I just think that they might do it just because I think they're gonna want Sprites to be dead and over with, just because it is always going to be a reliable engine for many decks to come in the future. So if they always keep Blue and Jet and Starter at max, or one of them at 1 and then the rest at max, they will always be an engine and future decks to come. So they've been around for a while. A lot of people love them. It's got a huge fan base, but the problem is that it is just too good with so many different decks. So I know a lot of people say Starter can go to 1, and I agree. I think Starter can go to 1. So that's a pretty good hit. Some people say instead of hitting Starter, just hit Jet and put Jet at 1. But the thing is that at least Jet, you have to actually special summon it to the field to search this out. So if you were to do that, I mean, then 3 starters will still be, it's just like a better op. It's just ridiculous compared to the other way around where you only have 3 Jets and 1 starter. If you open up a Jet and no other level 2, then you can't start your turn out really. But if if it's the other way around, you open up a starter, you're good to go. So yeah. And then Blue, some people say that Blue needs to go to semi-limited or limited itself. So yeah, I think that they might actually hit 2 cards. And if I had I don't know, if I had to pick, I would say Starter to 1 and then Blue semi-limited. I think that we might be seeing that. I don't know. Like I said, like it's just, it may or may not happen. But I would, if anything, I would love to see Starter at 1 and then, the other 2 can just stay at 3. Next up is the runic stuff. So we have the Fountain, Tip, and Hugin. So these 3 have been the biggest talk about the runics because a lot of people say that this deck needs to be hit. The problem with runics is that if you hit any of the main runic cards, which is obviously Fountain or Tip, mostly Fountain, if you hit these cards, the deck can pretty much be dead and over with. And really, people are going to be like, why even play it? A lot of people think that Fountain should be at 1. The problem is that Fountain's at 1, and if it so happens to be banished off a Cosmic Cyclone, you lose the game instantly. There's nothing you can do. It's gone. And maybe you can play the Castor runic version, so then you can always get back your runic Fountain. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up with runic. It's really hard to figure out which ones to hit. So that's why some people that struggle with Fountain say that maybe runic Tip should be hit and maybe runic Tip should go to 1. So then that way you do not have a card that basically can just search for any of them at will. And then there's the people that say that no, these are fine. Maybe Hugin's the problem. So then that way they can't just turn 1, activate, summon out Hugin, ditch a card, search for a runic Fountain, and then now they already got 2 runic cards in the graveyard, and then they just activate the 3rd one from hand. Now they could just put 3 back, draw 3, and with Hugin either being, with Hugin being limited, it would stop its way of being a protection card. So then that way, if you just get it off the field by like banishing it or something, you don't ever have to deal with it again. But I struggle with which one I would like to see hit more, because I kind of like the runic stuff. I was playing runics a long time ago when they first came out. I think I was like one of the only people playing it in my area, and I liked it. I played it with Sprites, and I thought it was really fun. So I would hate to see a deck that has like such a wacky, cool like style just instantly die because like runic Fountain gets limited or something. But at the same time, I would hate to see this deck be a splashable deck that goes with any like bunch of other stuff that just becomes an annoying deck to deal with in the future. So I don't know. Next is the runic. I mean, sorry, not runics, but new Chariot. I honestly don't know what new Chariot cards people want to be hit. I've just heard. I don't even know. I don't really keep up with new Chariot. There's like a few in my area that play it. I only played against it like a handful of times, so I honestly don't know what's the problem problematic card. I just put this one here because this one, I like the way it looks. So I don't know. Maybe this one's the one that people want at 1. I don't know. Like I said, it could be any of them, but I didn't really look into it that much because, again, I just don't. You know, I see what they can do. It's pretty cool. They can set up like an infinite amount of spells, traps, negates, and monster negates, which is insane. And paired with the runic cards makes it even like that much better. But at the same time, if runic is hit, then doesn't the Chariot need to be hit at all? You see what I'm saying? Like if runic gets hit and fountain is in 1, and you have a way of getting fountain away, then what's the point of playing the Chariots anymore? Or unless you just want to play the pure version, which I don't really think that's all that great. But I don't know. Next we have Mathemic Circle or Circular. This one, some people are saying that this card needs to be limited because it's just insane. I mean, send 1 Mathemic card to the graveyard from your deck as cost, and then if you special summon, and while this card's on the field, you special summon another Mathemic monster, you can just search for any spell or trap card that's Mathemic. I mean, that's pretty insane. So yeah, I can see why this card be limited. Just because of the whole like sending it to grave as cost. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, this is the card that I think brought them to be as good as they are, right? So if you take away this card, you pretty much kill the deck instantly. Maybe, I don't know. This could turn into like a whole nother Salamangreat kind of thing, where it's like you take away its 1 biggest card and you put it at 1. You know, the deck is still pretty good, but it's just maybe not as consistent as it used to be. Is it necessary? Probably, because like I said, man, this format is just all over the place. Like, I don't really know if you hit one deck, would it just make the other deck more powerful or whatever? Especially since the new stuff is coming out. The new stuff is just insane. I mean, if you guys have been keeping up with it, it does a lot of crazy stuff. So yeah, maybe I don't even think like seeing what the new stuff can do. I don't think Mathemics need to even be touched at all. I think if anything, and seeing what the new stuff can do literally got me questioning if we even should hit Kashtira, because maybe Kashtira needs to counter the new stuff coming out. I mean, it's insane. We're about to have a meta where Droll and Lockbird is going to be like in everyone's main deck. It's going to need to be in everyone's main deck. It's insane. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Mathemic Circular. And then last but not least is Evenly Matched. This is a personal one that I was bringing up, and a lot of other people agree that this card is insane. And I've been saying it for like over a year now, that Evenly Matched is just a ridiculous trap card that, in my opinion, always need to be limited. Giving up your battle phase to literally almost win the game. Why is this card at 3? It is so busted. Just literally, oh, you don't have a single Omni Negate on your field, monster-wise? Okay, cool. Battle phase, activate, get rid of all your stuff. You have 1 card now. You probably are top decking. If you're top decking and I can set up an Omni Negate, GG. Like, there's nothing you can do. The amount of times I've lost to this 1 card, or the amount of times I've won because of this 1 card, the amount of times I've watched other people lose or win to just this 1 card is insane. I mean, if we can have a Pointer of Red Lotus at 1, why can't we have Evenly Matched at 1? And I know what people are going to say. Well, it's like a go second card. It's a blowout card. It's a board breaker, right? We have Dark Ruler at 3. We have Raigeki at 3. We have Dark Hole at 3. Yeah, but there was a time where all these blowout cards were banned, right? And there was a reason why they were banned. It's because it was almost like an instant win when it resolves. So I kind of think that we're back in that stage again, where these blowout cards are almost like an instant win. If they don't say like destroy or something like that, because a lot of monsters these days have like protection against like destruction and stuff like that. So like Dark Hole and Raigeki is kind of like something that a lot of people don't want to play, just because, like I said, a lot of these cards are protected from that. But it's, it's not every day that you see a monster that says this card cannot be banished. In fact, I don't even think that there is a monster that says this card cannot be banished. So I would like to see this card be at 1. I'm tired, like, and this format has really brought it to the, like, brought it alive, basically, because as you can see, this card is being main decked, and so many decks that didn't even play it to begin with. Like, I mean, it's being main decked in like Sprites, it's being main decked in Kashtira and Sword Soul. Sword Soul is freaking main decking this card. If people are not main decking it, they're guaranteed side decking it. That's how strong this card is. So Me personally, I would love to see it at 1. I think it deserves to be at 1. But yeah. Other than that, I mean, I really haven't heard. I mean, I've been hearing like here and there about like certain cars that need to be banned, but or limited and stuff like that. I really haven't been paying. I didn't want to include them on here because I didn't think that they were like all that. I didn't hear that too much about it. I think one of them was like Pot of Prosperity. Some people think they need to be semi-limited. I can agree. You know, if we got Desires at 2, might as well just put Prosperity at 2. But I don't know. But then I guess that way you're gonna have to put Extravagance at 2 as well. But anyways. And then I've also heard Chariot talk about the new FTK for was it Super Heavy Samurais, saying I think there's like one specific I don't know. I seen the combo, but I haven't really like paid that close attention to it. But I will this week. I'm gonna like look at the combos more often and stuff like that. But I've heard that it needs one specific monster to do like burn damage or something like that for the FTK. So if I heard some people say that they need to just ban that card, so then that way that the whole FTK doesn't exist. And to be honest with you, I kind of wish that Konami would do this. They would hit cards or ban cards before it becomes a problem, instead of just letting it be the problem and then letting it continue for like a good 2 or 3 months and then banning it, when it kind of just ruined the entire format, you know. So I'm hoping that maybe it happens, but it probably won't, because they like to just, you know, sell stuff and then hit it and then sell more stuff, and the cycle goes on. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think, if it's going to get hit and stuff like that. I like seeing other people's ideas, and like I said, this was, you know, just basically collected from everyone else's thoughts and stuff like that, the main cards I keep hearing about. But yeah, until then, well, what else? I think oh yeah, I was gonna make a video talking about pretty much the different kinds of formats, like the 3 different kind of formats. You know, you got the tier 0, the trifecta, and open formats. So I was gonna make a video talking about those 3. I think I'm gonna do that one maybe tomorrow or sometime this week. But yeah, until then, I will see you guys, and I hope all of you have a wonderful week. Peace.